What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 Genesis G70 3.3T Sport Prestige. Huge thank you to Napoleon Ha over at Safford Genesis of Springfield, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular G70 or any Genesis product, then I'll be sure to have Napoleon's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, well, just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2025 Genesis G70 3.3T Sport Prestige, and this particular one's been painted in the $650 Vic Black. I wanted to preface this video by saying the G70 goes into the 2025 model year unchanged. So with that in mind, as standard with the Sport Prestige, you get LED headlights with high beam assist, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals. Now, taking a few steps to the left, here is a front-on shot of the Sport Prestige. You can see at the center of your front bumper, you have your Genesis logo. When you come down just a little bit, you get the dark chrome front grille with the regular chrome grille surround. The observant viewer may be able to tell that you have a forward-facing camera at the top of your front grille, and that is because the Sport Prestige comes with a 360-degree view camera system. Now, speaking of safety features, you also get 4 forward-facing sensors as standard. Now, back to the stylistic traits of this thing, let's finish it off. So you can see you get satin black lower and outer grills. With the outer grills, you get some venting to redirect air around the outside of the vehicle, which hopefully in turn leads to better fuel economy. Now I'm going to take a step back, give you a front 3/4 shot of this thing. And while I'm working my way down the side, I wanted to let you know that when you opt for the Sport Prestige, you get the adaptive suspension. So when you put it into sport mode, the suspension is going to tighten up. When you put it into comfort mode, it's going to loosen up right over those bumps, just a little bit nicer. And then coming down with the Sport Prestige, you get the 19-inch gray with machine face wheels, and the wheels are wrapped in 225/40 in the front and 255/35 in the rear, Michelin Primacy Tour all-season tires. I'm going to give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here as best that I can. And then I'm also going to let you know that it doesn't matter which 2025 G70 you get, they all come standard with 4-piston Brembo front brakes and 2-piston Brembo rear brakes. Also, as standard, you get rain sensing wipers. And then one thing that's pretty cool, on both of your front fenders, you get the fender venting with the gloss black trim. Kind of looks almost like, you know, like the Bentley kind of logo that you get also with the Bentley fender vents and stuff. It kind of looks like that B. So I think that is pretty cool. And then coming to my side view mirrors, as standard, you get body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals. And as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, power folding. Both mirrors are auto dimming. You also get memory functions. So not only is the vehicle going to memorize your steering wheel and your seat settings, it is also going to memorize the outer mirror settings as well, which is nice if you have multiple people daily driving this. Now, a couple other things. You have your blind spot monitoring on the upper left-hand side of your driver side mirror and on the upper right-hand side of your passenger side mirror. Now, this one being the Sport Prestige, you get cameras at the bottom of both of your side view mirrors, and those cameras work with your blind spot view system as well as your 360-degree view camera system. And then last but not least, you also get a puddle light right there that projects your Genesis logo on the ground at night. Pretty cool, kind of like BMWs do, but except this is the Genesis. Now here's a side profile shot of this thing. I think this is a super sleek and sporty looking sedan. Love the way that these wheels look, especially with those red Brembos behind. It just looks very, very nice. And it's a good alternative to BMWs and Audis and stuff. Anyways, as you may be able to tell, you get the dark chrome window trim. You get body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind, however, the keyless access function is only on the front 2 door handles. The rear 2 door handles do not get the keyless access function. And then walking towards the rear, this is your fuel door. In order to open up your fuel door, you have to press the button here on the driver's side, and that's going to give you access to your fuel door. You do not get a capless filler neck. I'm kind of surprised that this one does not say premium fuel recommended. So anyways, up top here, body color shark fin antenna. You also have your 3rd brake light, rear window defroster. Now, one thing that's pretty cool about this thing is it has like a subtle ducktail spoiler. It doesn't have a spoiler, but you can see the trunk is kind of molded to where it looks like it's got a little bit of a spoiler. LED combination taillights do come standard, and here is a rear 3/4 shot of this thing. Taking a few steps to the right, you can see your badging back here is all chrome. And then just above your Genesis badge, and if you follow that center line of the vehicle up, you have these two things right here. So this is your backup camera, and when you opt for the Sport Prestige, you get the power trunk. So if you press that button right there, the trunk will open up on its own. Now, one thing that's nice, like Cadillac, I just did a video with a new CT5 the other day. It's got the power trunk release. However, the G70 also closes power as well, so that is definitely nice. I'm going to put the price of all the different accessories on screen right now. Pretty good sized trunk. Again, like I mentioned, I did a video with the CT5 a couple weeks ago, and I would say the CT5 and this probably have comparable amounts of storage space here in the trunk area. And then underneath here, that is where you will find your spare tire, your jack, and the necessities to change a tire if you do end up getting a flat tire. And if you need even more storage space than you got in here, you can also fold the second row seats down. And that's kind of about it for what we got going on in here, other than you get two LED dome lights back here as well, which is pretty nice. Now, on the trunk itself, you have these two buttons. That is to close the trunk, that is to lock the vehicle. I just want to close the trunk, so now we are going to do that, and then we're just going to finish things off here at the rear end. So just like the front, you get another 4 parking sensors back here as well. This is your gray rear valance. You also get a dual exhaust system. What's kind of cool about the dual exhaust system is that it's actually a quad tip exhaust system, but they give it to you like it is a dual exhaust system. So I think that is pretty cool. Now, speaking of the exhaust, the Sport Prestige gets the active exhaust system. And then also the limited slip differential. So this is actually a pretty quick and nimble sports sedan, and this is definitely slept on. You know, you don't really see too many people in the car community talk about the Genesis G70, and maybe it's because they don't know about it. They don't really advertise this thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really see any commercials about this. I don't really see anybody talking about this. So this really is a sleeper because, you know, yes, it does look fast, but you don't really know how fast it is until you get behind the wheel of this. But anyways, with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 3.3 liter twin turbo V6 that produces 365 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 4.5 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 17 miles per gallon in the city, 23 miles per gallon on the highway for 19 miles per gallon combined with all-wheel drive. You can see some of the chassis bracing under the hood as well. And then if you don't want this with all-wheel drive, they also offer this with rear-wheel drive, which is pretty cool. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you're enjoying the video, if you've learned anything, please just take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, as mentioned earlier, you get keyless access as standard, so all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and it will unlock. You can also lock it if you run your finger across that square box right there, and it will lock right back up. Taking a look at the key fob, it's gloss black with some chrome accenting, and going over the functions on it, starting from here, you have your lock function, your unlock function, your power trunk function, your panic function, and your remote start function. If you wanted to remote start this, all you have to do is lock it first, press and hold on this button, and she'll fire right up. And that is what the 3.5T sounds like being fired up from the exterior's perspective. Now let's see what the interior of this particular Sport Prestige has to offer. So with the Sport Prestige, you get the Napa leather upholstery, and this particular one's been spec'd with the Sevilla red with obsidian black Napa leather upholstery. If you're not a fan of the red, there are a few other color options. Now, taking a look at our door panel, up top here, you get some vinyl wrapping, some satin chrome trim, satin chrome looking door handle, 2 memory seat adjustment settings. You get the Lexicon premium audio system. You get this beautiful red quilted leather, a nicely padded leather wrapped armrest with some stitching. Then pressing on that button is going to power fold in or out your side view mirrors. You have your side view mirror controls. You have your unlock and your lock functions. You get automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners, and pressing on that button is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. You also get a little bit of storage space down here, a spot you could set a water bottle, and you get another speaker. You get a brushed aluminum Genesis dorsal. I'm not sure how well it's going to pick up on camera. And then here's another view of what these front seats look like. So as standard, you get power adjustable front seats with 4-way power lumbar. The driver gets a power driver seat bolster and a thigh extension. Now, stepping on into the interior, let's see what we got going on in here. So closing that door, let's fire it up. And that is what this sounds like being fired up from the interior's perspective. Now, I left this out because it sounded like somebody yelled something. So I was like, I'm gonna get in the car as fast as I can. I got heated and ventilated front seats as standard as well. Now what I'm gonna do is walk you throughout the entire interior. So with the Sport Prestige, you get the suede headliner. You also get an HVAC vent here. Beneath that, these controls are to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons. This button right here is going to pop open your fuel door, and that is going to open and or close your power trunk. Now, this being a Sport, you can see you get the aluminum Sport pedals. And then with the Sport Prestige and Sport Advanced, you get the power tilting and telescoping steering wheel, so you can bring the steering wheel out, you can push it away from you, and it also moves up and down. And this is included with the 2 memory seat adjustment settings. Now, coming back out, let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like, and that is the blind spot view system. Not only is this the turn signal control stock, this is also the headlight control stock and the high beam control stock. So that is headlights off, headlights automatic, parking lights on, headlights in the always on position, and it lets you know what's going on over there as well. So you can see when I'm switching through, it is also switching through on there. I like to leave it in the automatic position personally. And then zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel, and it is heated. You get 2 levels of adjustability. If you click that right there, that is to turn the heated steering wheel on. Like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. Let's take a listen. Sounds nice. And then you also get the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters and the red accent colored stitching as well. Now, taking a look at the left hand side of the steering wheel, as standard with this thing, you get the smart cruise control system. You also get the highway driving assistant, and here right here are your smart cruise control / highway driving assistant features. These 2 controls right here are for your 8-inch partially digital gauge cluster. And then coming to the right hand side of the steering wheel, this button is to speak to the vehicle. You can tell it to turn the AC system to 61 degrees. And then also, if you press and hold on that while connected to Apple CarPlay, it will pop open Siri. This is going to bring you into your phone screen on the infotainment system. And then you have your volume control knob, go like that to volume up, that to volume down, and then push on it to mute the audio system. These 2 buttons are configurable, so when you click on the mode button, it's going to bring you into a menu of options you can choose from. You can choose all of these, so when you click on the mode button, it will switch you between FM, AM, XM, any of the things that you have checked off here, it will go into, right? So you can select all of these, you can select 3 of these, you can select 2, as many or as little of them as you want, and it will just cycle through as you go throughout. Now, similar thing here, except with the star button, you can only select 1 of these options, and this is a different menu of options to choose from as well. So you can end a phone call, privacy mode, any of these things that you read on screen, except with the star button, you can only select 1. With the mode button, you can select all, as few or as many as you want. And then this right here, if you push up, that is going to bring you backwards on a track, and if you push down, that is going to bring you forwards on a track. It's kind of opposite of what you would expect it to be. And as mentioned on the exterior part of the video, you get rain sensing wipers, and this is your windshield wiper control stock. Now, moving into our gauge cluster, on the left-hand side, you have your analog speedometer as well as your analog fuel gauge. And then on the right-hand side, you have the 8-inch digital gauge cluster. So this is your tachometer over here. Then you have your odometer, the ambient exterior temperature, your fuel range. This does have traffic sign recognition, so the speed limit is 25. Then you get your driver assistance stuff. What you see here is configurable, and then that is the transmission status stuff. Now, if you wanted to control what you see there, you have this scroll knob here and these 2 things here, basically. So if you scroll or click this page button, then you can see your compass. Then you can go into this, you can see your current trip information, since reset, tire pressure stuff, engine temperature. This is like your torque split. Then you have your oil temperature, torque, and your turbo stuff. You click this one more time, it brings you back into this screen here. I think if I click on this, I thought I was able to bring the digital speedometer readout at the center. For some reason, it's hard to find that sometimes. But anyways, that is kind of about it for that. Now with the Sport Prestige, you get the head-up display. So up top here, I'm not sure if you can see the head-up display, but basically it's displaying the digital speedometer readout. Where is it? It's right there. It's displaying the digital speedometer readout, basically the driver assistance stuff and a speed limit sign. Coming over to here, so as standard with the Sport Prestige, you get the 10.25-inch infotainment system with built-in navigation and wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto connectivity. So it is touchscreen. So this is what it looks like. This is the date, the time, the music that's playing, and then over here you kind of have your subtle navigation stuff. This is the home screen. You can read all the different things. You can read here, swipe over, and you get these different things. This is like your driver profile stuff. Got your home button. This is like your menu for these different things here, time, date, and I just wanted to show you the setup menu because let's say we wanted to find driver assistance features. Instead of going into vehicle and looking for it, you click on the magnifying glass and you just type in driver assistance and all your driver assistance stuff pops up right there. So looking for the magnifying glass makes it very easy to navigate throughout this screen rather than having to look for it yourself, you know what I mean? Just something that I personally like. Then you get some red accent colored stitching, your push button start button, 2 HVAC vents, get your hazard button right here. Then you have your volume control knob, your tuning control knob, and then right here you have all of your different physical controls for your map stuff, nav stuff. This is another configurable button. Back on a track, forwards on a track. This is going to pop up your radio stuff, your media stuff, and this setup button is going to bring you into your setup screen that we just walked you throughout then. But I want to show you the favorites button here. So the favorites button with the star is the same premise behind the star on the steering wheel. So that one's filled in. That one's not filled in. Same thing, you can only select one of these things and it's another menu of things that you can choose from. So that can be your home button, your Bluetooth audio stuff, any of these different things it will bring you into every time that you click that star button. So yeah, that's about it for that. As standard with this thing, you get the dual zone automatic climate control. You get your temperature controls here. These are all the physical controls: recirculation, rear defroster, front defroster, off, and auto. You get 3 levels with the auto. And as mentioned, heated and ventilated front seats. As standard, you get 3 levels of adjustability for both. Heated steering wheel, 2 levels of adjustability. And then click on that to bring the fan speed up. Click on that to bring the fan speed right back down. And then you get your other controls on that screen as well. It's actually kind of a good mix between physical controls and touch controls. And then beneath that, you get a 12-volt power outlet. You get a USB-A port and a wireless charging pad as standard. This is an iPhone 14 Pro Max, one of the bigger phones on the market, and it does fit in the wireless charging pad. That will illuminate when the wireless charging pad is charging the phone. Then you also get something up top here with the battery with the lightning bolt through it, letting you know that the phone is in the wireless charging pad. Gear shift selector here. You get your drive mode selector. So if we twist to the left or the right, up top you get your eco mode. Come down one, you get your comfort mode. Then you have your sport mode. You can see it kind of changes the tachometer over there. Take a look at the 7-8 RPM. And then boom, Sport Plus mode turns traction control off, and custom mode is a mode you can set up yourself. And by the way, when I'm switching between these different drive modes, I can hear the exhaust valves opening up a little bit more as we go throughout Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus. Sport Plus, it's going to be the loudest. Then this is to turn the traction control system on or off. This is to turn the parking sensor beep beep beeps on or off. This is your auto hold function. So when you engage that, the vehicle will hold itself in place by itself with its braking system. And if you wanted to go forward again, all you got to do is hit the accelerator and it will begin to move forward. This is going to pop up your 360-degree view camera system there. And then you also get an electronic parking brake. If you wanted to disengage the parking brake, push your foot against the brake, push against that, and the parking brake will disengage. 2 cup holders right here, nicely padded leather wrapped armrest, red accent colored stitching. Opening up the armrest, you get a USB-C port, probably 3.5 inches of depth, followed by 5 to 6 inches this way. So not all that much storage space down here in the center console, but you can fit what you need to. One thing that's also pretty cool that pretty much all Genesis products do this is that you can bring the seat up like that. You can bring the seat back, and then you can also bring it forwards and backwards. So I think that is a pretty cool thing. By the way, love the quilted leather on the seats. This is what the passenger side looks like. You get a lockable lower glove box, which is definitely nice to see. You get a decent amount of storage space in the glove box. You can see all your owner's manuals and stuff like that. You can still fit your napkins and your straws in there. Now up top here, you get an auto dimming rear view mirror with the universal garage door opener on the bottom. You can open up 3 different garage bays. Then you get a spot you could set your sunglasses up top here. Your reading lights are LED. This is going to let you know if the passenger airbag is on or off. I think I pointed this out. Spot you could set your sunglasses. I know I pointed it out. I'm going to point it out again. And then you get your roadside assistance stuff up top here. This is whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the door. So when you click that amber light on, the interior lights will turn on when you open up the door. When the amber light is not on, the interior lights will not turn on when you open up the door. And then that is your instant dome light on button. And as standard with this thing, you get the power sunroof. So you also get the power shade as well. And if you just click it back once, it only opens up the shade. You click it back twice, it will slide open the sunroof. We'll see how far the sunroof opens up. Will it go back any further? No, it will not. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is that the sunroof not only slides, but it also tilts. All you got to do is push up on this, and that is going to tilt open the sunroof. And then push forward again, and both of these things should close. Opening this up, you get a vanity mirror, a vanity light, a spot you could set any small little paper product, and then the visor does slide in and out for when the sun is in those awkward positions. No O-poop handle here for the driver, but the front passenger does get an O-poop handle. Now, speaking of seat comfort, these seats are on the firmer side of things, but that is what you'd expect in a sports sedan. They are not uncomfortable. I find them to be comfortable. And one thing that's pretty cool is that they've got the adjustable bolsters on them. So if you come over to here, and basically you flip this down, it's going to pop up something here on the infotainment screen. So just bear with me here for a second. I got to pop out of that. Basically, you push up on this, and it's going to bring you into this screen. So basically, you can bring the bolsters in. You can push the bolsters out. So by pushing down, it brings the bolsters out. By pulling up on that thing, it brings the bolsters right back in. Basically, what the bolsters are these things. So basically, those bolsters are either going to come in on your torso or they're going to come out. So I think that's really cool, especially if you're going to be doing some sporty driving. That's something that you would find in a BMW M5 or something like that. But now I'm just going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at everything that you get with this thing, everything that has been optioned on this thing. But basically, I am just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2025 G70 3.3T Sport Prestige is spec'd is $59,140. Definitely a lot of money, but you know, that's just what these things cost nowadays. You know, I mean, take a look at the other sedans on the market. None of them are really cheap, because all of them are pretty good, and it's unfortunate to see that sedans are dying as time goes on. One other thing I wanted to say is that the Lexicon sound system actually sounds really, really good. I just did a video with the G70, also had that same sound system. It sounds better on this, I think, because the cabin is smaller. But I want to show you what we got going on in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. So taking a look at what we got going on back here, again, you get automatic up and down windows. They go all the way down. Same kind of material used on the rear door panel that you find on the front. Storage space, speaker. This is what these second row seats look like. I mentioned in the trunk area, you get the second row folding seats. So you get a little bit more storage space, probably, you know, 3 feet of storage space. Closing that back up, I also failed to mention that you get the red seat belts, which is definitely cool to see. And stepping here into the second row, you get a no poop handle, a spot you could set your dry cleaning, seat back pocket behind the driver's seat. You get a seat back pocket behind the front passenger seat as well. Just keep in mind it is mesh, so if you put a pen in there, the pen may fall out. You also get 2 HVAC vents, 2 USB-C ports, 2 cup holders here with the center fold down armrest. I like the trim around them. Nicely padded armrest, by the way. Same stuff on that side. And then you get your dome lights back here as well. You get your individual reading lights. This is going to turn on both dome lights. And when it comes to knee and legroom, I'm 5'9", adjusted behind myself. I've got a little bit of knee and legroom left over, probably 4 inches of knee and legroom. And when it comes to headroom, I probably got another 2 inches of headroom left over, and I can make up for it if I slouched a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of about it. I would say I really like the seating position here in the second row. I feel like I'm sitting low rather than high. I like to sit low. And yeah, that's kind of about it. So, you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. Take a listen. You can see the torque split of what is powering the vehicle forward. This is a rear biased vehicle, which I think is really cool. You know, nowadays it seems like all sedans are front wheel drive biased, and it is cool to see that this and the Cadillac CT5 are still rear wheel drive biased sedans. I love that. Here's another little acceleration. Guys, that was nowhere near full throttle. That was probably about 40% throttle, and it's just super, super quick. This thing is a blast to drive. Like, it really feels light on its feet. Like, the response from the steering wheel is just instantaneous. It really turns in well. It truly is. I think is that an M5 right up there? I guess we'll have to roll our window down and see if we can hear that V10. If it is, it is. I can hear it. Listen to that thing. That V10 sounds good. Oh man, yeah, but this thing, that thing's definitely catless. I can smell just straight gas, but man, that thing is awesome. We're gonna do a full throttle acceleration here to the left in Sport Plus mode. So here you go, floored. Definitely some pumped in audio I can kind of hear through the speakers, but I mean, it's still, nonetheless, it sounds really good. It's super, super quick. I mean, it just feels very, very, very quick. And one thing that I really like about a rear biased vehicle is you can feel it push you rather than pull you forward. And that's kind of like, if you've never driven a rear wheel drive vehicle or only driven front wheel drive vehicles, you don't really know what I'm talking about, but you can feel it push you rather than pull you, which is definitely nice. I like that feeling better. Here's a little mid-range acceleration. I love to get in a vehicle where I can get in it and I'm just cruising down the highway and I barely got to put my foot into the throttle and it will go faster than you would expect it to. That is what I really like about, you know, twin turbo engines, is that they've just got that low end torque, and you just barely put your foot into the accelerator and you start to accelerate at a pretty decent rate, which is something that I really like. That guy just totally did something reckless. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but totally passed somebody, because I heard like a rock being flung at me. I'm like, what the heck? And it was that guy being an idiot. But anyway, love having just that low end torque, that low end power where you really just don't have to get on it and it moves. You know what I mean? And you don't have to downshift. You don't have to find the power, because the power finds you. It's there when you need it, which is awesome. You know, it's like, I don't know. So anyways, power wise, you guys, if you can't tell, this thing's got quite a bit of power and it rips from a stop. If you rip on it from a stop, you're gonna be like, man, this thing feels way faster than the horsepower figure suggests. It feels like it's got like 435 horsepower or something, rather than just 300 and something. So I mean, what's it, 370, 365 pound-feet of torque, something like that. It feels like it's got more. Anyway, just a nice looking vehicle on the exterior, nice feeling vehicle here on the interior. Now, some might say it is due for a refresh, but I really, okay, maybe it could use a refresh, maybe in a fully digital gauge cluster, but this is like peak vehicle to me. Like BMW was like this as well, and BMW's since gone to a total screen layout that I'm not really a fan of. You know, I love the mix of, you know, how there's like a cowl for the dash, and then also just an individual screen rather than two screens together, and there's physical controls. So this is like peak automobile to me, is this. You know, you've got the perfect mix of physical controls, touch controls, volume control. It's a really nice mix, and it makes it very easy for when you're driving down the road. You don't even have to think about it. You just come over here and you click on something that brings you where you want to go, rather than having to like try to reach throughout the screen and be stable and hit it's perfect the way that this is. Seats are very comfortable. I love how this, you know, it's definitely a great daily and it's classy. You can pick up a date in this, but at the same time, you know, you can go rip up the back roads as well, because this thing's got those bolsters. It's got the adaptive damper suspension, so it firms up when you put it into sport mode. It's got the limited slip differential. I mean, this is truly a sports sedan, and it's really not talked about all that much, you know, on the internet. I don't see too many people talking about this. I'm going to do a little acceleration here. We're going to try to see if we can hear the exhaust note under the tunnel here. So I'm going to floor it. Yeah, you can. I mean, when you put this thing in a sport mode and those valves open up, it's got a really, really good sound to it. I mean, it really does. Even though it does have a little bit of pumped in audio, it still has that just wow kind of sound to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's more muscular than it might seem, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna do another acceleration here. When you put it into Sport Plus mode, like I probably gave it 30% throttle right there and it brought it up to red line. So Sport Plus mode is truly Sport Plus mode. It's like it wants to go, it's ready to go. This vehicle is awesome. If you're on the fence about it, I think you should just at least go out and test drive it, because I think you'll be pretty amazed by just how quick it feels, how comfortable it is, and how just nicely laid out the interior is. You know, it's a smaller sedan, which is nice. You know, it feels like it's got that, you know, just sporty, it's just got that sporty feel. I mean, it really does. And it doesn't feel like a big sedan either. So if that's what you're looking for, this might be the vehicle for you. It really, really is a sweet sedan. And it's one of the few sedans left on the market, because as years go by, you know, we have less and less sedans. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from the video, please just take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those three things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm. That is what helps me grow. That is what helps me achieve my dreams and goals. So I'd appreciate it if you do those three things. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace!